This 2026 NASCAR Driver Changes and Odds Impact edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with their promo code RACESGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome into another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. He, as always, is Cody Zeeb. I am Rod Villagomez. Today, it is a Monday, a special Monday edition. We have to move everything up because I'm going to be gone over the course of the weekend. So we wanted to make sure we got all 3 episodes in for you this week. Lots to talk about, cases-wise, new drivers-wise. But Cody, as we've alluded to, and we were talking about just before the show started, we're missing our fair share of odds that we had last year. We're a little disappointed on that one.
Yeah, I was kind of looking back. I always like to go back to the previous offseason, see what things we've touched on, kind of where we're at in comparison to, previous off seasons. And by this time last year, we'd already done episodes on win totals for the Cup Series. So we had a couple episodes on that. We'd done Xfinity at the time, now O'Reilly. A championship odds episode. No odds on that yet. I think Truck Series was like within the next week of last year's calendar. So yeah, we're a little behind on the off-season stuff, which is unfortunate. Obviously, we've already talked championship odds. Go back and listen to those couple episodes. And Daytona 500, there's some props out there available. Particularly Caesars has a ton of stuff. So shout out to them for getting that stuff up. But yeah, it's going slow. And I don't know, some of that could be impacted by some of the stuff coming out, right? The lawsuit stuff. We don't exactly know how that could reshape the garage. And so maybe the books are playing it safe because of that. And also the championship format, I think, could play a huge deal, right? Because if they do change the format and they put an even bigger emphasis on winning, as far as it's suddenly paying way more points or whatever the case is, maybe that's why they're holding off on that. So it sucks because we're kind of sitting here with still plenty of stuff to talk about. Don't worry. But we want odds and we want to start getting bets placed, right? And we want to, okay, what do the books think for these guys for win totals next year? Because it's good to start getting in that mode. And we're kind of just sitting here twiddling our thumbs and waiting. So hurry up, NASCAR, I guess.
Seriously. TK checking in saying, hey, guys. And then, like you said, maybe the NASCAR is concerned and they don't want to accept a bunch of bets on a potentially unstable sport. But I will say that not outside of NASCAR, though, there's been a lot of upheaval this offseason. There was a lot of upheaval last offseason, but like now we've got new manufacturers in the fold in the truck series. We've got teams that have been switching manufacturers. Like there's just a lot of stuff that has changed over the course of this offseason already that I'm sure the books are just a little gun shy.
Yeah, particularly in the lower series, right? I mean, with Kaulig, going big with Dodge in the truck series, that's a huge thing. Kaulig shutting down the O'Reilly series team, that's a big thing. There's been a lot of switching and shaking, and it does seem like, we're kind of, and there's a couple more announcements that have come out in the last day or so, but there's still seats open and still seats being filled, and people that had got seats that no longer have seats, and all kinds of crazy things that are going on. So we still don't have like a for sure lineup in those series. So I get that's probably why those odds are still a little bit on hold too. But it's it is 69 days, Rod, until the Daytona 500.
Well, if they could just hurry up and get the stuff figured out, then we can 1,000% get going on it. So, but in the meantime, we're going to continue to bring you all of the content that you've come to expect from us over the course of the offseason, and you can find all of that and get access to all of our other free picks and podcasts in one convenient place. That's the SGPN app. Go download that bad boy for free in your app store. All you got to do, type the 4 little letters that open up the entire world for you, SGPN. Yes, Cody. So there have been stuff happening, even though in the motorsports world, NASCAR is dormant on the track. Obviously not dormant in the news cycle, but dormant on the track. However, congratulations to one Lando Norris, who is now the Formula One world champion, who off-seated Max Verstappen and will race with the number 1 on his car all of next season. That was a fun end to the season. I feel like there was enough intrigue in that. At the end to make it to the edge of my seat.
Yeah, absolutely. It was great. It really paid off for, this was the first time since we had the Max Lewis Hamilton. Gosh, I don't remember what year was that. Was what, 2020, 2021, whatever year that was, quite a few years back, where they battled all the way till the end and it came down to the finale, right? And we had that again. And just 2 points, you think about it, and they got rid of the extra point this year for the fastest lap. Imagine how that could have impacted things. And that's where you go back and this is an argument that people with the 36 race argument will have, is like, you think about it, the very first race of the season, if Max finishes 1 spot better, or any race in the entire season, he finishes 1 spot better, potentially now he's the champion. Obviously, maybe Lando races different at the end. If the points are different, right, we still get that. But it came down to that close, which is, in an ideal world, you'd love to be able to have that in all these series every year. Look at IndyCar lately, look at NASCAR in the past. That's not generally how it goes, unfortunately, for the full season thing, but very exciting wrap up for F1. Congrats to Lando Norris. And yeah, if you didn't know, the number 1 is not available in F1 except to the champion. So if you are the current reigning champion, you're allowed to drive the number 1. Max has been doing that for a few years as he's continued to win. But he'll have to go back. What was he before? 33 or something?
Yeah.
So he'll have to go back to his number, and Lando now gets to take over being the number 1 car, which is kind of an interesting thing. I sort of actually kind of like the thought and idea behind that.
Yeah, no, that's actually, I love because it's like a trophy all year long, right? You're like, hey, listen, I'm the best. This is my number. It's number 1.
Actually, so when I played high school basketball, our coach would not allow anybody to wear number 1 because nobody was number 1. You can always be better, right? But if you're the champion, well, nobody can be better because you are number 1, right? So I do kind of like it.
Speaking of being number 1, the Snowball Derby was actually postponed for a day because of the fog and visibility. I feel like they were driving out here in the valley where the fog just is so thick. There were days, Cody, where because I lived right next to the channel, and there were days where I would have to drive with my door open a little crack. That way I could see the yellow lines as I was driving down. A levee, mind you. If I took a wrong turn right, I was in the water. So you want to talk about herring?
Yeah, that's boy, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, congratulations to Stephen Nasse. He got it done. Ty Majeski kind of dominated the race, but got penalized late, jumping a restart, and Stephen Nasse takes home his first one. Majeski and I think Kyle Busch were the only 2 NASCAR guys that actually made the main event. The other 3 Cup drivers for sure did not make it, and Gregson, Jones, and Priest didn't even make the main show. But long weekend, and Keelan Harvick, by the way, you might know, happy birthday to Kevin, by the way, his 50th birthday today. But his son Keelan, 13 years old, becomes the youngest winner of the Snowflake, the preliminary event to that. So that kid, oh buddy, watch out. He is uber talented, and he's obviously got a lot of backing behind him, and the Kevin Harvick and all the ties there, but he's on the fast track to be a racing superstar, and he's been doing it. He's already been racing overseas on road course stuff, all that kind of stuff. So as we've come to see now with guys like a Ty Gibbs, guys like a Connor Zilic, that's needs to be part of your repertoire. But watch out for Keelan Harvick. He's going to be somebody we're going to be potentially betting on here in a couple of years, Rod.
At 13 years old, I was backing Jeeps into safflower fields. Like this kid is like legit actually going out with stock cars over 150 miles an hour winning.
He's beating grown-ass men who've been doing this for that's what always amazes me when you get these young kids like this is like, he's coming in and there's some dude that just drives these cars all the time for years. And he just comes in and he's kicking their asses. And it's great to see, but yeah, shout out to Keelan for pulling it off in the snowflake.
You know, and you can't even blame or you can't even like thank pedigree for that because there's no like real race. Like you can't pass genes on that make you a good racer. All that was is just Kevin really just giving his son a really good start at it and the talent.
There's got to be some level of
a racing gene.
I mean, there's got to be, right? Because we've seen where it does get passed or doesn't get passed in some cases to others. But I mean, granted, he's been given all the tools from a very young age, right? And that's probably a big key in it. But to be that damn good at that young of an age, man, it's crazy.
It is. Laura checking in saying, good afternoon, guys. I'm wondering how Dodge will enter the NASCAR races. What will that look like? Well, we'll talk about that a little bit in our truck series when we did. We already talked a little bit about it when we talked.
Yeah,
we
already kind of talked about it. But basically, they're just going to be in the truck series this year, not in Cup just yet. Well, they're going to be racing Dodges. They're apparently going to be helping a Chevrolet team. But Kaulig has 5 trucks that are going to be Dodge Ram trucks. They'll have 4 full-time drivers, 1 quote-unquote all-star car that's going to rotate week to week. The free agent car, I believe is what they're calling it. But yeah, so that's typically how you enter back into NASCAR or into NASCAR for the first time. You come into the truck series, run a season or 2 there, and then they'll kind of let you step up into O'Reilly as it is now series, and then the Cup series, of course, eventually. But it does sound like they will be helping Kaulig's Cup series program, even though Kaulig will continue to run Chevrolets in that. For now, I would say probably more likely 2028 is when we'll see Dodge in the Cup series, but potentially as early as 27.
So we will be old enough, Cody. I'm going to make you as old as me because I'm already old, but you're about to be old. We're going to be old enough to cover the Kevin Harvicks of the world and the Kyle Bushes and the Larsons of the world, but we'll be old enough to cover their kids when they're racing.
I remember going to watch your dad.
Mm-hmm. I'd be like,
oh yeah, they're all coming.
They are, and they're coming fast. That's the way it is right now. They're all going to get their start.
Yeah, like TK says, 17 for trucks. I feel like I'd have to look it up. You might be able to start at 16 on short tracks. I know you can't race the big tracks until you're 18, but I know we've had 16-year-olds before. I don't remember what they've changed the rule. It might be 17 now, but that's only 4 years from now. I mean, that is not far away at all. And you'd imagine you see Keelan in there, probably as soon as possible, assuming that's the route they go and it doesn't end up turning into chasing F1 or something like that. But, NASCAR would be the obvious place you think to see him go. So
I would think
it looks like TK already did the research for us. 16 for the truck series on short tracks, road courses. 3 years before he can make it some starts. Just crazy. It's insane.
It's insane. We'll be over 1,000 episodes at that point, so it'll be a lot of fun to break all of that down for the next generation of NASCAR drivers. Speaking of next generation, let's talk about this current generation of NASCAR drivers. They're on the move. A lot of folks changing some seats. There's a lot of new faces in new places, and we'll talk about all that and the impact we think they'll have on their odds. But first, let me tell you about our friends over at Kaulig. We've just partnered up with Kaulig, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. In all 50 states, you can trade tons of markets, including sports like the NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, and more. Plus, you can even trade props like first TDs. Besides sports, though, they've got a ton of other markets, including politics, entertainment, hell. You can even trade on the weather, Kaulig. You can trade on everything. How about the Golden Globe nominations? That's pretty big right now. Golden Globe for Best Motion Picture Drama. How about Sinners or Hamnet? Sinners has got a lead right now, 50% to Hamnet's 39%. So go trade on that. Go get a little futures on that one right now. And you can trade if you're a new customer. You get $20 when you use the promo code SGPN. That's Kaulig, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. Underdog is your home for pick'em entries where you can win up to 5,000 times your entry. It is Monday Night Football tonight. It is the Eagles taking on the Chargers. They have got Saquon Barkley's rushing total at 70.5 as his projection right now. I'm going to take the higher than and hold my breath. I know it hasn't necessarily been the greatest of outings for Saquon Barkley over the last few weeks, and in fact, he really has been But he has been higher than this in 2 of the last 3 weeks that he's been rushing. Again, he's not going to hit 2,000 yards, but hopefully he'll at least get us 71 yards against this Chargers defense that gave up 70 yards to both Travis Etienne and Bashawn Tutin in the Jacksonville game. I mean, they held Ashton Genty to 31 yards, but that's just because it's Ashton Genty and he's a Boise State, and I don't care. Anyways, we got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5. Get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN. We'll never have anything nice to say about a Boise State Bronco. I don't care that they won the Mountain West. They're going to get stomped in their bowl game. So there's that to look forward to this year.
There you go. The Huskers will be attending a bowl game. I'm sure that it won't go well. So, oh well. Hey,
shout out to Army and to Fresno State for having a couple of good bowl matchups in this one. Army going up against I can't remember who it is now, but anyways, Army's they're playing in the damn it, I forgot. Never mind, it doesn't matter.
We're going to Nebraska, going to Las Vegas Bowl and taking on Utah, which Utah's a good team and we're not. So,
well, I know Fresno State's going to be playing in the Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl. That is actually going to be a lot of fun.
The Snoop Dogg Bowl, the swag for that game.
Oh, dude,
that's got to be some pretty good swag. Right?
It is. Army playing UConn, by the way, in the Fenway Bowl. So they're playing in Boston. So yeah.
If you want more thoughts on Rod and I's college football takes, by the way, we are going to have a full episode this week breaking down Army, Navy. So stay tuned. We've been doing that every year since we've been doing the show. It's been tons and tons of fun. And we all know Navy's going to win this year. So it's going to make it even more fun this year, Rod.
Fresno State taking on Miami of Ohio, by the way. That's who that is. No, listen, hey, the Army-Navy episode has been so much fun over the last couple of seasons. Like, when we both realized that we should be doing an episode on that, it just made perfect sense because
it all lines up perfect. Like, it's sort of a standalone game, although there's bowl games on that day now, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah, that is stupid.
But it's a standalone game. We're in the off season. I was in the Navy. You're in the Army, so it's perfect and great and fun. But stay tuned later this week. All right, Rod.
Hey, wait, hold on. It does suck though because I'm going to be working on that day. I will be serving.
I know
during that day.
The Army's got you working on Army Navy Day. That's trying to save you from having to watch Army get their ass kicked. I get it. That's nice of the Army to think of you in that way, Rod.
New names showing up in new teams. We're going to talk about them right now and how they may impact the odds. Cody and I are staring at the NASCAR.com/racing teams page. We're just going to work our way down. We're just going to talk through these and go for the first 9. We'll come back tomorrow. We'll go over the next 9, and we'll just go over some of the changes and some of the non-changes and see what that does to each individual team. So, Cody, let's begin at the beginning. Let's begin with the team of the hour. How about 2311?
We didn't plan it this way. I'm pretty sure it's probably listed in alphabetical order, which obviously you'd start with the numbers first. But yes, what a place to start, Rod, because the future potentially hanging in the balance.
Is this going to be a team in 2026 is the question of the hour. Obviously, Riley Herbst, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace still on the ticket for this team if it does exist past this court battle. I mean, obviously, we talked a little bit about the ramifications of it in the previous episode that we did a couple of weeks ago, or was it last week? Yeah, last week. And honestly, the days are flowing into each other. But here's the thing, all right? I can't see a scenario in which we don't see 2311 back on the track next year. I'd be hard-pressed to find a way to talk ourselves out of assuming that we will not see 2311 and these 3 drivers in their cars on the track next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, to me, it felt continually like we were going to get to a point where they would settle this and everybody would be fine. Now we're over a week into the trial. Things seem to be going good for the teams, but even if the teams win this trial, it doesn't mean that they are going to be allowed to have charters. I mean, I don't think that that's necessarily the thing, but again, does that open up new lawsuits if they win the lawsuit and then you're like, yeah, we're not doing business with you? I don't know, who knows, but we'll just operate on the assumption that they are going to be a team. I believe that they will. I think that whatever the outcome, it'll get figured out. Somebody will lose money. Fine. Let's get signed. Let's get deals continue to go and move on down the road. So thinking that's the case. Luckily, this should all be behind us by the time we get to the season, right? Whatever the outcome is, should be done and gone, so that distraction's not hanging around. We didn't think it would, or at least I didn't think it would affect the team last year, but it feels like maybe it did, particularly with Tyler Reddick, because it was a very down season for him. I have high expectations for Reddick once again this year. I believe he's one of the most talented drivers in the field, and we've seen it from him. He was a regular season champion back in 2024. Had a great season. Didn't get any wins this past season. There's obviously some stuff going on with his son as well. And we know how it is. You have lives and stuff like that takes precedence over everything. And if that took time away, whatever, fine. That's the most important thing, right? But I do think that Tyler Reddick's going to have a better season. I believe I have already bet him to win the championship. I'll have to go back and look at the tickets I've placed throughout. It's been a few, but pretty sure he's one of them that I'm holding. Go back and listen to that episode for sure. But expect him to get back into victory lane probably a couple times. I'll be very interested to see what his win total is when we get to talk about that. When it comes to Bubba Wallace, I think that the trajectory has continued to go up, right? Since he's gone over to 2311, they put together solid seasons, got a win here or there. Now, he gets a crown jewel win this past year at the Brickyard 400. They really had a strong, solid season for Bubba Wallace, his best season of his career. Things continued to look up and really finished the season on a pretty strong note down the stretch. So I'm thinking that this new crew chief has been a good change for him. It clearly panned out last year. If they can continue to build on that, I think he'll find his way to victory lane again next year and just kind of continue to go on that upward trajectory where he's been headed. So very excited for that. Riley Herbst, we'll see, right? We really loved him in the Xfinity at the time. O'Reilly Now series. He did well there. It took him a long time to bloom in that series, so maybe that's the case here. We get it, right? He brings in the Herbst money. He brings in the monster money. That's a big part of why he's on this team. They tweeted out today like his stats or whatever, and it was like 1 top 15 and 8 top 20s or something. And it was like, I don't know who made this graphic, but maybe we should have just said, hey, great rookie year, Riley, or something. But I would expect a lot more of the same. Now, down the stretch, he did become a kind of a guy we used as a cheap DFS play. That's probably where the focus would be on him next year. And always going to be a guy in play to bet on super speedways where he has had some success. So that's my views on 2311.
Yeah, and so Riley Herbst also, if it's in the right group, you might want to consider some group betting on him as well. Tyler Reddick, 18-1 right now on BetMGM for the championship. Bubba Wallace. Say again?
I definitely have bet that then.
Yeah, for sure. And then Bubba Wallace, 30-1 as far as the championship odds are concerned on BetMGM as well. I've only got them up right now. I'm not trying to shop around. You can shop around if you really want a better number, but that's where they stand, and that's probably where they should be. I mean, obviously we know Tyler Reddick is always going to be a guy that can run around the front, and Bubba Wallace is getting there, just like Cody said. And this team, if they can withstand the slings and the arrows of this current situation they're in, I think they'll come out much stronger out of it, and I think we can see a much more competitive 2311 team going into this 2026 season, if that's what happens. If not, then all hell breaks loose, and we just are all hanging on by our knuckles.
If that's not the case, we'll definitely break this down farther. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, well, then the next one, how convenient. We're talking about Front Row Motorsports is the other ones. Again, we didn't choose this. This is the way it is on the page. Maybe they did it on purpose. But 2311 Front Row. Front Row is obviously still Ford. They are boasting Todd Gilliland, Noah Gragson, Lane Riggs, Zane Smith, Chandler Smith into their driver stable. Obviously, we know that it's Gilliland, Gragson, Smith, and Zane Smith, rather, in their Cup cars, and then Riggs and Chandler Smith, obviously, in their trucks. But the three, Todd Gilliland, Gragson, and Smith, they each had their own little pop-ups of success, last season. There was times where they were running well, and I think they're going to continue to just be that team that top 10 bets are good. Top 20 bets when they're available are good. A couple of head-to-heads are good. But, yeah, other than that, this team could hurt the most, though, from what happens. 2311, I'm sure they'll find their way. But these guys right now, if it goes sour, this is the team that could hurt the most.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they don't have Michael Jordan money. And having Michael Jordan money behind you allows you to be able to step a little farther out on that limb. Because, if that limb breaks and falls, the cushion underneath is a lot deeper and softer if Michael Jordan's money's sitting there holding you up. So front row doesn't have that, but assuming that they continue as is, this will be a year where they're bringing back all, they expanded to 3 cars, much like 2311 did last year. They're bringing back all 3 drivers, which you really like to see. It's 3 young drivers, 3 drivers who have shown a ton of talent in the lower series. Zane Smith dominated the trucks for a couple of years. Gilliland dominated the trucks for a couple of years. Noah Gragson was very dominant in the Xfinity series, O'Reilly series, right, for a couple of years. So they've all proved on a lower level that they can do it. And they all had their bright spots, like you said, this past year. I wouldn't say any of them stood out. None of them won races. I don't know that we'll get that from them this year, but they are going to be guys we're going to target for top 10s. The top Ford market will remain. I mean, Zane Smith, Todd Gilliland, we were betting on them top Ford almost every single week last year, right? And they hit quite a few times because of the shape and landscape of the Ford team. So, I think that Noah was definitely the biggest disappointment of the 3, I would say. I've got a little higher expectations for him. And I would say that of the 3, he's the one that if he doesn't start to pick it up, he's going to have to start watching over his shoulder, right? So hopefully we'll see a continued come up from him. But I really like the young driver stable they have here. They've locked a couple. I believe Gilliland and Zane are both locked up for multi-years. Noah's at least through this year. It was multi-year when he signed. So, love to see that for them, and I think it'll be a solid year for front row.
And again, from a betting standpoint, nobody is going to go out and bet their championship. I'm 100% certain you wouldn't be doing that. But look, if you're curious, Noah Gragson.
Oh, we'll see what the format is, Rod. You never know.
This is what I'm saying. Like,
actually, I can't think of any format that I would bet on them.
So. Well, listen, Todd or Noah Gragson, 250-1. Todd Gilliland, 250-1. Zane Smith, 250-1. So if you really, really want to
feel you need to bet those, you can Venmo me at
1-800-GAMBLER if you feel like the Raiders should not have kicked that field goal in the last seconds of the.
God damn it, Rod! Why'd you have to bring that up?
I'm just
that's
saying.
The dumb fuck Pete Carroll. I hope you get fired. Why would you kick a field goal to cover the spread there when you weren't covering all goddamn day?
I know Zane Smith wouldn't have kicked a field goal in that instance, but all right.
TK, by the way, so Zane Smith on the rise for him. Does need a win to solidify that. I think if I had to pick one of them out of the 3 to get a win on a plate tracks are always going to be different, right? Super speedways, anybody can get it done truly. Zane would be the guy. He had a lot of success, especially on the 1.5 miles last year. I could see kind of a Josh Berry type of thing where he wins a Las Vegas type of race where everything falls right. Zane definitely the leader in the clubhouse of those guys for me.
I just feel like Zane Smith should have had his success transfer over. I mean, Gragson, he had his ups and downs with various teams and everything, but I feel like Zane Smith should have had his success, but we'll see it.
And I think Zane got a raw deal because he signs, he leaves front row where it was his home in the truck series for years. Trackhouse is like, oh, we'll give you this deal, development, all this stuff. And they put him in a car. And then it's like, he doesn't even get a chance to show anything. And they boot him out. And then he starts to show it. And it's like, hey, wait, I have something here. And then you got to make the change. And so it was first year last year. Like, let's give him a second year coming back to the same team. I think that'll be very helpful for him, and he seems to be a very good driver and good dude.
I agree. Speaking of good drivers and good dudes, Haas Factory is full of them. The Cup driver, though, in this is Cole Custer. He will return as the driver in the Haas Factory car for the 41 out there, and it's Cole Custer. I mean, I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I feel like each and every week, when he was obviously he was killing it in the Xfinity / now O'Reilly series. And, obviously we were every single week putting some sort of outright on him, top 5 on him, or, top Ford on him. So it was a matter of every single week we're talking about Cole Custer. Well, he gets into this Haas Factory team, and maybe because of the first time of being the Haas Factory team and not Stuart Haas, it, sort of took away from his ability to perform better than he should. So, Cody, maybe in this second year of this being a solely Haas Factory team, does that improve Cole Custer's ability to go run in the top 10, to be a top 10 competitor week in and week out?
No.
Damn. I was hoping it would.
I mean, notably, they are switching from Ford over to Chevrolet and joining the Hendrick program. They'll be aligned with them going forward. back to their roots. That's kind of where they were when Stuart Haas became a thing. They were a Chevy team and aligned with Hendrick. Worked out really well for him there for a few years with Tony driving. But yeah, I mean, some bright spots on his resume from last year, right? A 5th place at Talladega, 4th place at Daytona. So, okay, he's a guy we can definitely mark for super speedways. Outside of that, I mean, like a random 8th place at Mexico. But those were his only top 10s on the entire year. Top 20s on the year. I mean, he didn't have a ton more, right? Like a Martinsville is in there, Indy, Super Speedway, Atlanta, Nashville. Like, that's it. I've read off all of his top 20s.
So you don't think that the switch to Chevy is going to make a difference for Haas? No,
I don't think it will at all. I think that he'll be. I think a top 20 is a very good day for this team in 2026.
So the top 20 in F1 is doable. Maybe a top 20 in NASCAR, not so much.
Well, maybe not next year, Rod. There's going to be 22 cars on the grid.
Ooh, that's true. Oh my God, could you imagine if Haas just completely? No, they got good drivers in there as well.
Oh, Haas is good. They're set up real good in F1. I feel much better about Haas in F1 than the Cup Series, and I feel great about him in Xfinity. Right? We'll talk about that. Damn it, Rod!
You did it.
I feel really good about them in the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, Rod, because Sam Mayer and Sheldon Creed are back. Sheldon Creed, is he going to get his first win this year?
No.
Probably not, but maybe he will.
I want him to. Look, hey, Sheldon, if you're listening to this, which I know you're not, so thank God.
It's got to be this year, right?
I want it to be.
Gotta be.
Look, you are my favorite Canadian that's not a Canadian that's from California.
Oh.
I want you to get this win, okay? I'm willing you to get this win.
But, yeah, very out on the Cup team. Don't even tell me what his championship number is because it is not big enough.
250 to 1 still, just like everybody else is out there.
Yeah, that's just where they got to a point. They're like, okay, everybody else is 250 to 1 from here on out.
They're like, we're not trying to take any more risk than 250 to 1 on the rest of these guys. So have at it. If you want it, come take it from us. But yeah. All right, we'll get to the rest of the teams, but I would like to tell you about our friends over at Novig right now. We are brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices. Tell you what, right now, you would just watch the Bears and the Packers do their battles last week, and guess what? The Packers have now flipped to become the favorites to win the NFC North. Minus 241 over on Novig right now. But if you still believe in the Bears, Justin, plus 291 to win the NFC North over there on Novig right now. So the great stuff going on right now. Go download the Novig app. Get $50 when you spend $5 if you use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig, promo code SGPN. Rhythm, they've been crushing the NFL this season, especially on props. Been really good at identifying when to fade players and take those unders. College basketball up and running, and with 300 plus schools, Rhythm has a prediction for every game, every night. It pairs nicely with the TCE shows with Matt Colby and Noah. Every game, you are prepared. Super easy to sign up, run predictions off the house model, or make your own and play with the sliders. So many sports and the holidays makes it easy to get an elite prediction on a game so I can focus on other sports. Hey, they did me good on James Cook the other day, so let's go back to this. How about Quentin Johnston? They have got him at the wide receiver for the Los Angeles Chargers. Over 33.5 receiving yards at minus 112. It's been kind of a rough go for him, but he has gone over this number in 2 of the last 4 games for Quentin Johnston. So let's hope that they need to throw all over the place, the Chargers do against the Eagles, and that Quentin Johnston can at least get 34 receiving yards on the day. Gotta love it. Use promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off of your first month. Download Rhythm. Use promo code SGPN25. How about those? I won't even. I know Justin listens to the show, so I won't rub it in his face, Justin. It's just not fair.
Poor Bears.
Hey, but that was a hell of a game last night. I will say that was a fun game.
That was a great game. We had a lot of good games this weekend, and like getting down to playoff, like it's playoff time, Rod. You got to win some games, and there's been some fun ones. And shout out to the Chiefs at 6-7 as their records. It's nice of them to do that for the kids, Rod.
It is nice for them to do that for the kids. Also, the Thursday night game was a big points getter. I liked that one as well. Speaking of big points getters, how about Hendrick Motorsports, where we find ourselves next? Well, there's not much changing in these doors. Alex Bowman will still be there. Byron will still be there. Chase Elliott will still be there. Kyle Larson will still be there. The question is, though, Which one of these guys is actually going to do anything this year, and which one will he be poking a stick at saying, do something? Are we going to be, once again, disappointed in Alex Bowman? Will we, pardon me, get so choked up about William Byron that we can't keep ourselves calm? Or will Chase Elliott continue to be the most popular driver that hasn't done much in a while? And then Kyle Larson, the returning champion, what's he going to do?
Why are we firing shots like that? First of all, I would like to congratulate Kyle Larson, the greatest race car driver in the world, on his championship in his sport, Rod. Can you remind me, did Max Verstappen win the
Cody, why are you poking the bee's nest again? Why are you poking the bee's nest?
But hey, Kyle Larson, I know you guys got on me for hating on him, but hey, he is the champion. I do believe he's still the greatest race car driver in the world. That being said, end of the season was not good, right? Well documented. The Captain Shook deal. Yes, he got it done in the championship race. Needed a little help in the right spot, the right time, whatever. That's the rules, right? He is the true champion. But hopefully they fix whatever was going wrong there, because even despite that, I don't think he led any laps in that race. He definitely didn't win the race, but did enough to get the championship done. So that's good, right? And Larson, look, in general, I do think that he is the greatest race car driver. So I would expect a pretty solid season from him. I think they'll get things figured out, turned around. We're done with the Indy 500 stuff. We can look past all of that now, right? So I think he's going to be fine like he always is. William Byron has established himself year in and year out as a contender. I think that'll continue to be the case. He just won the regular season championship. He's won back-to-back Daytona 500s. I think we're just going to stay on track, right? I think he's going to continue to do things as he does. The other two drivers are a little more interesting. Chase Elliott, the most popular driver in the sport and a consistent winner in the sport, Rod. I think that we need to see a little more out of him, right? So he's so consistent. He is the king of consistency. You're going to find him getting a good finish every single week, which for betting purposes, as we like to talk about on this show, right, has come in big time handy. A lot of top 10 bets on him over the course of last year. They kept giving us good numbers, and he just consistently finishes well, which is great. You want to see more of the upside, the more of the get up there and win some races. Had some races where he had a shot at it last year, but didn't quite close the deal. If they could turn that around, I could definitely see it being a positive year for him. Alex Bowman, I don't believe he won any races last year, which means he's definitely due to win a race this year. He's always going to sneak up and win a random one. Chicagoland is returning, as TK points out. That is a great Bowman track. I believe he won the final race there while he was in his stint of killing tracks. There was like 3 tracks in a row where he won races and then they stopped racing at. But Chicagoland's been a great track for him in the past. So I think we will get an Alex Bowman win. I think you'll see all 4 of these Hendrick drivers in victory lane. We don't know what the points format is yet, but you can guarantee Kyle Larson will be in the mix. You can guarantee William Byron will be in the mix, and Chase Elliott will likely have himself in the mix. And hey, Alex Bowman's always a guy who could get close, I think, right? I don't know that he's necessarily championship material, but he's on a very championship capable team. The one big question I think behind all this is the new Chevy car, right? Well, they weren't competitive enough, Rod, I believe was what the terminology was used as. Wanted to make the car a little more competitive because they didn't win the championship last year, a bunch of races. So they've tweaked on the car, right? And that can go either way. Does that give them a huge advantage, not having to conform to a specific model, since it's the Camaro, quote unquote, that's not even made anymore? But that could also backfire, right? We saw it with Ford a couple of years ago where they just lagged way behind for a while trying to catch up. So we'll see. That's the big question mark. Could be a huge advantage, and they could just, crush it on the season. Or if they come out of the gate struggling, as they make some changes and adjust to that, could be a slow start for the Chevrolet teams. And Hendrick obviously is going to be the one most affected because they're the best team out there for Chevrolet. So, should be a good season, though, for Hendrick. I mean, that's not, wow, going out on a limb there, right? But, hey, that's what we expect. They've won, 15 of the last 30 championships, I think. So, the New York Yankees of NASCAR.
#analysis. But I look at, I'm with you. Obviously, Kyle Larson, there doesn't need to be any other wind wasted on that. He's obviously going to come back and do great things this year. Alex Bowman, like you said, he'll be a good top 10 guy here and there. He'll be a good group guy. He'll be somebody that we bring up a lot on the show for, these middling top 10 bets. Byron pick your spot for him as an outright. I will say, though, I did kind of brush over Chase Elliott a little bit, but I do believe that this is a year that Chase Elliott will get back out there again, because it felt like last year, as consistent as he was, right, we just weren't having the conversations that we usually have revolving around Chase Elliott, like actual outright conversations. I know you brought him up a few times here and there, but as the year progressed, those conversations got fewer and fewer, and I feel like for a team like Chase Elliott's team, for a driver like Chase Elliott, for the most popular driver in the entire sport right now of NASCAR, right, continually every single year, you can't really keep a guy like that down and out of the conversation very long. So I have this sneaking feeling as we sit here and talk about this, that this could be a Chase Elliott year. And as, you know, maybe my recency bias of my own conversation with myself, bringing up the fact that Chase Elliott could be good. Yeah, I mean, look, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and made a big championship charge next year.
I'd love to see it, Rob.
You would, too. Although TK saying Chevy would have had a lot less wins without SVG dominating the road course. That Gibbs would have won 4 of the 5 that SVG got. Holy, let's not get out of line here.
Well, he's saying the Gibbs organization.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind. He's right.
But Christopher Bell got seconds. Ty got seconds to him. And Chase Briscoe. I think Chase Briscoe actually finished second to him twice. So, yeah, yes, the Gibbs organization would have probably got a lot of wins had it not been for SVG on this thing.
TK just said a trigger word. That's all. He just said the word Gibbs.
Rod just sees Gibbs and everything goes red. He's like, oh my God, nah.
My fist was balling up and I was about to punch the computer screen. All right, we'll get to Gibbs in a second. Let's not skip over Hayek, who is the employer of one Ricky Stenhouse. Well, it says Hayek in here, right? It is?
Well, it is. I'm just saying, can we skip over it?
Oh, Jesus H. No, because they're a team in the NASCAR. They have a charter for now, and they make Ricky Stenhouse drive for them, or Ricky Stenhouse does drive for them. And Ricky Stenhouse, always the guy that we look at when it is time for super speedways, or if we just randomly want to throw $5 at a very long, odd opportunity for a driver to do something.
He's a guy we look at super speedways, Rod. That's absolutely true. I mean, he's a Daytona 500 winner. He knows how to get it done on super speedways. Yes, you look through his results last year, it's very similar to Cole Custer, and I think I have very similar thoughts. We're going to bet on him on super speedways. He's always a guy you can watch. He's definitely more of a bet him to win. Don't really take anything else because he's either going to win or he's going to wreck. Generally is the kind of thing with Stenhouse, whereas Custer can be more of a top 10, top manufacturer guy. But outside of that, not a guy we're going to bet on a lot. Concrete in particular, a place where he can pop up at times. So Bristol is always a place you can watch with him. Although I don't believe he did well in either Bristol race last year, 22nd exactly in both of them. So not really. Dover, but that's going to be the All-Star race this year. So we're not even going to see him in that because he's not going to make the All-Star race. Spoiler, unless he wins the Daytona 500. But yeah, it's just top 20s are going to be good days for this team, and I think that's kind of where they're at.
Yep, I agree with you on that one. So, but I will say that he did calm down a lot last year. Ricky Stenhouse is probably no more, and Ricky Stenhouse is there.
I'd say that's been kind of over the last couple of years. Really, he's really calmed down. He's become a dad now. He's gotten married, all that stuff. So we see it with guys over years where they just start to calm down. Even the real hotheads, the Kevin Harvick, Kyle Bushes of the younger days, we just don't see it anymore. And for Stenhouse, it's behind the wheel. But yeah, we've definitely seen that over the last couple of seasons.
250 to 1 for Ricky Stenhouse as well, if you want to bet his championship number. All right, let's move over to Gibbs Racing.
I beg you.
I'm only here to relay the information. I'm not here to tell you what to do with it. I'm just here to give it to you. Joe Gibbs Racing is the packed powerhouse that it will always be. Christopher Bell, Chase Briscoe, Ty Gibbs, Denny Hamlin. Behind the wheel of this Joe Gibbs Racing machines in the Cup cars. I mean, obviously there's nothing changing in that garage, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff that always continues to go down at JGR. But I mean, it's not going to really impact the odds. It's not going to impact the betting habits that we take from them next year. It's going to be a team. Obviously, Briscoe really asserting some of his futuristic possibilities this year. Yeah. And, Christopher Bell is going to be Christopher Bell. Denny Hamlin, I will see, I guess, what happens with this lawsuit, but I don't think that's going to really affect him down the road. This could be one last chance to bet his futures outright, and hopefully he either gets it or he doesn't, and that's it. So, I mean, Gibbs is Gibbs, right?
Yeah, I think this is the best team as far as the driver talent goes. I like Hendrick, but I feel like the big three you're getting over here is between the three of them, right? Spreading it out over three, I think is a little stronger. And a huge Chase Elliott fan, but he's kind of the one who holds that three back on the Hendrick side of things. But you look at these top three drivers they have. Denny Hamlin obviously had a great season for as old as he is, right? He's an old man, still performing well, gets all those wins, laps away from winning his first title. Now, the lawsuit stuff throughout this offseason, his dad's health has been declining. We know that, right? So going into next year, off of the loss that he had, off of the things with his father and how that's going to end, how this lawsuit's going to end, all this stuff, is he able to pick up and go put it all in there for a season, or does Father Time catch up? Last offseason, I was on I think Father Time's catching up bus. I didn't think Denny was going to be the same Denny. I was very wrong when it came to that, because obviously he had a great season, but we'll see. I think there is question marks there. If it's Denny that we know, it should be great. He should win a bunch of races. He should be in competition. And arguably, depending on the championship format, this might be his best chance to win a title. If they do make it 10 races or 443 or 36, that's right up Denny's alley, and that could change the game for him and be the way that he gets the championship. So that may be a revitalization of, okay, now this is more tailored to my strengths, where it's not just one race at the end and he can go out and win it. So that could be positive for him. Christopher Bell starts the season with winning 3 races in a row, has a great season overall, kind of fell off at the end. It's going to happen. He's extremely talented, going to be in the conversation to win week in and week out. No matter the track style, he can win at everything. So he's a guy that pencil in for multiple wins, going to be a championship contender. Chase Briscoe, was it a fluke, or have we seen the budding of a new superstar, right? I mean, he looked amazing last year. Love him going into this year. We made tons and tons of money off of him last year. Hopefully we can repeat that. I think he's here to stay. I think that he's going to be a contender year in and year out. And then for Ty Gibbs, it's time to shit or get off the pot, Rod. He's got to figure it out. He's got to put in a good season this year. And if he doesn't, I think the conversations need to begin happening of what they have to do going forward. He has got to win a race this year. I think he's going to win 2 races this year, Rod.
So let's move on to Kaulig. No, I'm just kidding. Look, I've already said several times over that I will stop bashing. I just won't say anything about it. James Small, stock went through the roof this year, enough to swap the narrative from James was the problem to Martin was the problem, as TK says.
I was a James Small hater to the nth degree. I thought the dude was horrible, and I was wrong. It was Martin Truex. So shout out to James Small. Him and Briscoe, it was a slow start like we predicted, right? But once they figured it out, That team is going to be scary for years and years going forward. Marcus, by the way, predicting Christopher Bell will win the Clash, the most races, and have a career banner. I think he's got the championship and the whole thing. Maybe he'll win all 36 races. It could be done.
Like I said, I want to love something as much as Marcus loves Christopher Bell. I sometimes feel like I don't even love my wife as much as Marcus loves Christopher Bell. So that's where we're at in life. But no, I'm just kidding. I definitely love my wife. Baby, if you're listening, absolutely
Linda,
love you.
Don't listen to what he just said.
Don't listen to it. It's just, this is all entertainment. It's all entertainment, baby. No, listen, I wish they had team wins for us to be able to put up, right? I mean, this would be a fun
They did
one.
last year. Remember?
That's true.
Spire was at 1.5, Rob.
That's true.
Oh, that was so funny. But yeah, hopefully that's another one that will hopefully get this offseason. We did get it last year, and that's going to be a really fun one when you get to the Gibbs, the Hendricks of the world, where, they're going to be pretty big numbers, and you have to figure out, can the combination of the drivers they have get to it? So definitely looking forward to hopefully getting that market again this offseason.
Indeed. Well, then, if we do get that market and they give Kaulig Racing a half of a win, do we take the half of a win? Do we take the over? Or do we take the under as AJ Allmendinger returns In the 16 for Kaulig, obviously we talked about it earlier, their big change in the truck series where they'll be in the Dodge trucks. They are going to take a step back from the O'Reilly series this year, fielding 0 cars in that one, but they will be having Ty Dillon and AJ Allmendinger back in the 10 and the 16. So, look. Go ahead.
I'll take the over because Ty Dillon's going to win the Daytona 500, Rod.
Okay, well then that's a good. I'm thinking that AJ Allmendinger finally gets back into the swing of things on a road course and finds his way to at least one win on a road course. Be that Coda, or be that.
I think we're done seeing AJ win Cup races with SVG.
I know.
I don't want to say Zillich because I don't think Zillich is going to win any this year, which we'll get to when we get to that part. But I don't think that he's going to win, especially with SVG around. I think we're done seeing AJ win. The Chevy Dodge thing is going to be real interesting, right? They no longer have a technical alliance with RCR, so now they're doing it on their own. Could that be a positive based on how RCR has been? Maybe. But Dodge is going to be helping them with Chevy equipment. Is Chevy still giving them all the information at this point when clearly, I mean, they're sleeping in bed with Dodge over here? Like, are you just like, okay, here, keep taking all the info? I don't think so, because it's clear they're going to be a Dodge team whenever Dodge does go to the Cup Series. And they've already switched to Dodge in the Truck Series. Like, it's such a weird situation to be racing one manufacturer in the Cup Series and racing the future manufacturer in the smaller series while you're still with the older manufacturer. That's some crazy open relationship dynamics that we're not going to get into.
What do the kids call it these days? A throuple? Is that what it is? Or it's a throuple?
But I think that's overall probably going to hurt the team because I think they're not going to have the support they had. Now, Ty Dillon's coming off of a career year. He had a great year. He had some great opportunities for top 10s. I think we might still get that from him. And AJ is always a threat, right? Daytona, he's very good in the 500 every year. Although he blew up last year, of course. But he's been great in that race. He's been good on super speedways. Still a good driver on road courses. I don't know that we're still at the elite that we once were, and I think that could be partially equipment. But I'll be interested to see with that weird Chevy Dodge relationship how it pans out on your quote unquote normal oval tracks throughout the season. I think we might see a step back from these two drivers. I'll be very cautious in like the season long fantasy games and stuff that you get into of having these guys in there because the Chevy Dodge dynamic really could hurt them.
Yeah, and like we said, we'll watch this throuple play out this season to how it impacts the team. But I still think that AJ Allmendinger is a driver that we will watch for top 10s, top 5s on road courses. I would love to see him get another win, but like you said, I know SVG sucks up the room, but at the same time,
yeah, this is a great team to have on your betting arsenal. Like, there's never expectations, especially now with SVG now, right? AJ would get him at times on road courses, but you're going to get opportunities to get good numbers. They're both very good drivers as far as they just do the best they can with what they have and get good results at times. You know, you look back at Phoenix in the spring, Ty Dillon could have almost won that race had things panned out a little differently, not gotten the penalty late there. They had fresh tires when they had that extra set of option tires or whatever it was, craziness. I mean, they almost played their cards right? So, yeah, they'll definitely be a top 10 team that you can bet on fairly reliably, I think. But in an overall week-to-week sense, I'm a bit nervous for them.
The same can be said about the last team we'll cover today, and that is Legacy Motor Club. Put your pinkies in the sky as Legacy Motor Club takes the track again with John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones. And, of course, Jimmy Johnson jumping in the car every once in a while just for good measure. Obviously, we saw them do very well for themselves last year. We were talking a lot about John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones being fringe top 5 cars on certain weeks, and, of course, top 10 cars pretty much every single week, top 10 contenders, by not just top 10 cars, but top 10 contenders each and every week. And I feel like that will continue. At some point, Cody, I want to put to bed the thought of betting on Jimmy, even though we did cash a top 10 on him last season.
I think you can bet on Jimmy on super speedways. Like, it's perfectly fine. He's the greatest race car driver in NASCAR history, Rod. He still knows what he's doing, and don't bet on him at San Diego. It's not going to go well. It's a great story. It's fun. I'm glad he's going to be in the race. But it's not going to be a place to bet on him. But at Daytona, we saw it in the 500, right? It's just Daytona is his speed for where he's at in life and career right now is go take care of your stuff, work the draft. He's getting more used to the next gen stuff. He'd not raced that, and he still hasn't other than a handful of races, right? So you could certainly bet on him at super speedways. I will allow it. Don't try and bet on him at San Diego, Rod. I'll take that off the sheet. But but you can still bet on Jimmy Johnson.
Oh my God, if he's there again at San Diego, because that's like right next to his hometown, El Cajon.
He is. He's already said he's racing, and he was talking about trying to race in trucks and O'Reilly that weekend as well, if they'll allow it, because it's his hometown, all that are right there close to it, right? So I would, man, a Jimmy Johnson doing a triple. Oh, that'd be beautiful.
We need to get the bosses to get you an all expense paid trip out there. I can set you up with a place to stay. But yeah, we need to get you out for that race in particular for sure. So, Eric Jones,
if you can cover the lodging for me, we might be able to make this work, Rod.
Hey, I know I can. It's just a matter of let's make that happen. So, all right. So as far as John Hunter, Nemechek, Eric Jones are concerned, obviously we are going to continue to pick our spots with them. They'll be obviously top 10 bets more weeks than they won't be, and. Yeah, I mean, group betting.
This was
top Toyota.
This was
sometimes.
a great team to bet on in 2025, and my expectations are kind of raised a little bit. Eric Jones, don't forget, he was the guy put in the 20 car for JGR. Like, he was an up and coming guy, had a lot of success in that car. It just wasn't quite enough for the team, and they had to put Christopher Bell somewhere, so he got forced out. But he's been a great driver for Legacy. John Hunter, we've seen the story, right? He comes up, he goes back down, comes back up through it. Looks great in the Truck Series, great in Xfinity, and it's been paying off in the Cup Series now. These are two very, very good drivers. And Jimmy Johnson, it's like having Michael Jordan, right? He wants to go win. You have the GOAT that wants to win. Jimmy is putting in the time. He's putting in the money. He's putting in the effort from the ownership side. Don't forget, Jimmy took over Legacy as the top, or the, what is it? Majority. That's the word I was looking for. Majority owner last year. And look at the results we got out of the team. Now a second year with Jimmy and his people in place. This team is on the trajectory, continuing to go up. I'm not ready to bet on their championship stuff just yet, but it's going to be a great team throughout the entire season. There's going to be really good spots to get in on Eric, get in on John Hunter. And I think Jimmy will be bettable on super speedways like he was in the 500 last year. So absolutely huge Legacy fan. Love it. And looking forward to betting on them in 2026.
I mean, not for nothing. That's my jam right there. Jimmy Johnson owns something. Of course, I'm going to be a gigantic fan of it. Right. So give me all the Legacy in the world. All right, we'll put a pin in it for there. We'll come back and go over the rest of the 9 teams that will comprise the track next year. TK says he wants to get that third charter, and it's looking good for a driver like Heim.
Well, doesn't want to. They have the third charter. Now, that charter is still being leased this year to RFK for Chris Buescher's ride, but I don't believe RFK will be allowed to lease that same charter again, unless the charter rules change or go away. But technically, Legacy does have a third charter, so they are continuing to build towards what should potentially be a third team in 2027 for them, because they do officially own the charter that RFK is leasing originally from Rick Ware, now from them, to race the 60 car. I think I said 17, but the 60 car for Ryan Preece is what I meant. So they do have a third charter, and could it be Heim? He's clearly not going to JGR, I guess. So maybe Ty is scared he'll take his ride, and maybe he should be. Yeah. But
whatever. Look, I like I said, I'm not saying anything nice, so I'm not saying anything at all. All right. Let's come back tomorrow, and we'll talk more about the rest of these drivers, their impacts, and what we think they're going to be for the odds part of this. And it's been fun to break this down so far. We'll do it again tomorrow. And then, of course, Wednesday, we'll come back with Army Navy and have some fun breaking down that game as we head to the best weekend in college football in the Army Navy game. All right, Cody. Anything you want to tell everybody before we get out of here?
I'm really looking forward to that Army-Navy game, Rod. Now, I am off to watch the next episode of NASCAR with Gluck and Bianchi. I noticed they're live, so going to go jump over and listen to what they have to say, because that's always entertaining. So give the Teardown a listen. And follow me over on the X, at @Husker_Zeeb. You can find all my stuff there. Tons and tons of football content constantly coming out over there. racing content, whatever else I can get my hands on. So, always appreciate the love, appreciate the follow. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Doing the shorts every day with the 91 bets in 91 days. It's been going pretty solidly. So hopefully the Eagles pull it off tonight. And, see you guys tomorrow.
Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. You can find all the stuff that I am up to. It's the easiest place to do it. Like Cody said, go ahead and leave those likes, leave those subscribes, do the things that need, this little algorithm thing needs to feed itself. I don't know. It's all hobby to me, but whatever. Love you guys very much. We'll see you guys tomorrow with more of the teams. And until then, let's go racing. Let's make NASCAR gambling fun again and let it ride.